You guys have seen me interact with other people on this channel. You guys have seen the transition of what my content used to be to what it is now on that channel. Heck, you guys have seen my weird personality, but very charming and lovable at times. But have you guys seen me get a little bit more serious, a little bit more cutthroat on this channel? I think not, until now. Hello my jolly babies, and welcome to the 10th day of 12 Days of Sassmas, but a little bit more bleak because I am putting up an unpopular opinions video today for the first time in my life. Now, remember this. Unpopular opinions or opinions overall are like bumholes. Everyone has them and there's nothing that you can do about it. All you can do is just stand there or up and leave. It's as simple as that. So let's get into it. The things that you can and cannot do when it comes to the ages of 18, maybe 19, 20, and 21 do not make sense. First of all, what does a 1 year difference from 20 to 21 make when it comes to drinking alcohol? Like the whole saying of, oh, you could go to the club, but you can't drink. Why? Why? So it's okay for me to go to a club, but I can't drink? Like, what does the 1 year, 365 days do to me? Because if you think about it, the brain does not, scientifically, the brain does not develop until 25. 25 or 26, I think it's 25. But no one's going to push the drinking age all the way to 25. No. They're going to keep it at 21. So you might as well just make one or the other. One or the other. You can't just split them both, okay? Now on to 18. Because think about it like this. When you're a senior in high school, you are either 17 or 18. Those are the two ages that you are. I'm living proof of it. But I will turn 18 as the school year is still going on. But some people turn 18, some people turn 18 during the summer, which technically counts as them being a college freshman. Even if you don't go to college, you will still be put at that label because you are at that age. But okay for you to have all this responsibility just pushed towards you and people just expect you to have your stuff together, like that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Especially when at that age you're not teaching me the fundamental skills that I have to take for life. Why are you not teaching me about life? Because if you think that I need to do all these things, then teach me about life. Teach me how to pay my taxes, what a mortgage is, what a loan is, what a grant is. Like, teach me all this stuff if you think I'm ready for that. Lord child. Let me drop a bomb. The age of consent is not the same throughout the US. If you look up the age of consent, then you will notice that it adds in this state, in that state. You wanna know why? Because it's not 18 across all 50 states. Some states have 16, some states have 17, some states have 18. Why isn't all the same age? Tell me that. Why isn't all the same age? I think we all know why. We all know why. In my personal opinion, make the two biggest privileges of drinking and clubbing to either age 20 or 21, and then have the age of consent the same age in all 50 states. Period. Just at either 18 or 19, okay? Okay, it's as simple as that. Whew. If I ask you, can you dance? And you bust out with some TikTok dances, what I mean is, can you really dance? Because TikTok dancing is not real dancing. It is a category of dancing. Because think about it, you got ballet dancing, you got jazz dancing, you got tap dancing, you got urban hip hop dance, you got contemporary dance. TikTok fits in a category, and I can't believe I gotta say that, but yes, it fits into a category. When people see me, like if I do this and do this, then you associate that with TikTok, right? So it's a category, but it's not real dancing. If you were somehow teleported back to the 80s or back to the 80s or the 90s when dance battles were poppin', then you cannot pull up with some this because you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You gotta move your body. You gotta stay to the beat, bro. That's how you win a dance battle. Not by doing this. Roanoke was the best season of American Horror Story. I don't care what y'all say. I love that freaking reality concept. I didn't like Sydney's crazy self, and I didn't like Kathy Bates' character because she was crazy as well, the butcher. I did not like them, and I didn't like some of the other characters. Like I didn't like Shelby. I didn't like Lee. I didn't like her either because she was off the rails herself. I didn't rails herself, but that reality concept was actually pretty fun because they have these different costumes for the different seasons. Like Coven, Asylum, 1984, they had these different concepts, and I think that adding a reality, that was actually pretty cool. I don't know why people hate on it. I don't understand. It was cool, nevertheless. Comparing your kids to their siblings or to other kids or their niece or whatever is damaging and degrading to them. It will make them resent you and said kid. It's not a behavioral tactic. It's not teaching them to be better. It's teaching them that they can't be themselves, but they have to be somebody else. It's gonna make them two-sided, or it's going to make them fake. And like I said, it's going to make them resent that person or be like, I am this person, so goodbye, I am you. I can do this. I know how you walk, how you talk, how you behave. That's what it's gonna do to them. It's gonna mess them up. And I don't like that concept at all. Like, I'm not them. I'm not them. Shoot, even identical twins don't even share some of the same personalities and qualities. They, in a sense, they're different too. So what's up? People need to stop comparing coffee and tea because both of them are equally great. And this is coming from someone who rarely drinks either of the two. I prefer water and juice, but if I had to drink coffee and tea, I wouldn't be upset about it. I have to choose one or the other, but I wouldn't say, oh, this is the best in that one. That's the best. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. I would just say that I like both because I could put sugar in them. There's specialty coffee beans, there's specialty teas, there's all these mugs and stuff, like equally good. So why can't people just focus on real tasks at hand, like the fact that the climate is literally dying and at any moment Earth could crumble beneath their feet and the animals could rebel against us. But we want to worry about a drink. Okay. This generation gonna be fine. We gonna be fine. We gonna be alright. We gonna be alright. Like every other generation but for us. Every older generation always has something to say about the new generation. It's just a constant cycle. People that are my parents' ages say something about us. Their parents says something about them. Their parents says something about them, and it's just an ongoing cycle. But at the end of the day, we all live life and the next generation comes. Hey, before you know it, I'm gonna be talking all that mess about Gen Alpha. I'm gonna be talking all that mess about them. And then they gonna feel some type of way about me. So we cool. Snow is so freaking hard to drive in. It's the worst type of weather to drive in, worse than the sun, like extreme heat, and worse than rain. Heck, even worse than fog. Because people act like they can't drive the worst around that season. And if you're a new driver like me, a teenage driver, then you know what I'm talking about. It's stressful as heck, even though we still ain't got no dang snow, and it's what, almost 3 days until Christmas. It's so hard to drive it because then you have the soul trip, because snow can't disappear on itself. If it's constantly cold, then the snow is gonna stay. Unlike rain, where it's just a little bit of less friction on the tires because obviously it's wet, and you got the windshield wipers, you have ice and snow on the ground, and you can even have that around your car, which is why we have those brushes and those scrapers so we can get rid of the ice. But you also have that soul truck that is so freaking slow, and people don't know how to function or know when to slow down or when to stop. And not only that, but there's so much freaking traffic because everybody is driving slow. But moving on, there are pros and cons to every body type. However, you shouldn't degrade one and say, oh, this is the best, because there is no ideal body type. It's okay if you're a little bit plump. It's okay if you want to stay obese, but you shouldn't say that this is the best way to live and stuff, and slowly just encourage, probably knowingly or unknowingly, lame functions, y'all, to be the same way as you, because the way that you live might not be the same outcome for them. And it's the same with skinny, because you heard of all those jokes, just like, oh, fatso, you need to stop eating. They're being told, hey, you need to eat some more. You look like a dang skeleton. See, there are pros and cons to every body type, but you just gotta do you. You gotta love you and let other people hate with their miserable freaking lives, because you're beautiful just the way you are, baby. And that's facts. Looks can be very perceiving, and you need to be careful and you need to be mindful, because nowadays no one knows anybody's age is what they put in this food. I'm telling you, people look older than what they appear, people look younger than what they appear, people have these old mindsets that's been passed on from generation to generation, or just willful ignorance, to where they look at someone who has a different style or a skin color or hair or anything, and just perceive them to be either good or bad or menaces to society or whatever. Looks can be perceiving, because people can instantly put on that persona mask and keep it on and just take it off, flip it on and on and off whenever they want to. So you gotta be careful out here in these streets, guys. I'm telling you. There are unseen forces in this world. Anything can happen at any moment. An asteroid could have hit this earth some 5 million years ago. Animals can suddenly talk, like who knows, one of these days I might just wake up and find that my dog Gladys can talk to me. People might have superpowers, like a lot can happen in this world. It really can, and nothing, in my opinion, is impossible, to say the least. The saying this, that, and the third won't fly in high school and college is not always accurate, because you cannot talk for all high schools and all colleges, sir, ma'am, anybody in between, however you identify yourself. You can't, because not every high school and college is built the same. It's not. Granted, there are some things that they might say, just some that might apply, but you can't take everything that they say to heart. That's why you have all these, well, some of these freshmen that go into high school being a nervous freaking wreck because of what somebody said to them 7th and 8th grade, that they need to be like this, that, like, it's messed up. Now, what you can say is that for middle schoolers that are about to go into high school, they can say, be mature, be careful, and be on top of your game. And the same can be said to high school seniors. Be on top of your game, because you're about to go into the real world. That's plausible. That's plausible. That's plausible. That's plausible. That's plausible. There's little to none when comparing school to a job. And this applies to high school students, because college, there's such thing as work study for a reason. Like, you need to work so you can pay that tuition. And obviously, little kids, they can't work like that. Like, having a stand isn't the same as work. When teachers see that kids, like, because this happens a lot, like in my sociology class, this happened a lot, when kids just come late after late after late, and then suddenly you get that, but at a job, you can't do that because you'll get fired. Well, no duh, because it's going to mess with my money. Like, however much I make on a paycheck depends on when I show up. Yeah, on when I show up and by the hour. So if I'm supposed to show up from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday and be there from 4:30 to 10 o'clock, then that's going to determine how much I get paid. And someday I might get a raise and that money might plummet. But obviously I know that, and it's not gonna mess with my money, because obviously I want money so that way I can get the stuff that I want, so I don't have to rely on my parents, and I can move on with my life and yada yada yada. But with school, I'm not getting paid to go to school, to sit at a desk or transition between classes for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to the end of the school year, which is either in May or June, and will start back up in September or August. That's not the case. It's not the case. Later on, for the last one, y'all might call me a hypocrite for this, but it's whatever. I'm explaining it more. Public elementary schools should be the only ones that have a uniform, that should be required to have a uniform. Middle school and high school, like middle schoolers and high schoolers, should be the only ones that can be able to wear their actual clothes with a dress code. Because you can expect an 11 and 12-year-old to wake up, pick their clothes the night before or right then and there, and to dress themselves, but you can't expect that from a kindergartner or you can't expect that from someone younger, like a 5, 6, 7-year-old. You can't expect it from them, but you can expect it from a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old. You can, right? So why not just have it for elementary school kids? Why not just have it for them? Like, duh. And it also teaches middle schoolers to be responsible, and that responsibility to carry, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And that responsibility can carry on with them to high school and then college, when they really, really got to get their stuff together. Cause ain't nobody gonna be judging on what you, I don't think I've ever heard of uniforms for college. Like, that's crazy. I don't think that exists. I don't think that exists. The respect your elders rule needs to die, and it needs to be replaced with respect goes both ways. Respect is 50-50. If you respect me, I'll respect you. Period. It's damaging because it's like, oh, you gotta respect me. You gotta do what I do no matter what, cause I'm older than you. You see how that sounds? You see how people like that could take advantage of that? Like, you see how problematic that is? No. If you're saying something bad about me, and if you're being mean to me for no reason, then expect me to act the same way towards you. Point blank period. Like, why can't people just understand that? Like, you would want me to be nice to you, so be nice to me. It's common sense. It's common freaking sense. And I will be teaching my kids that. This Vaseline, like many others in the past, will be normalized in the next probably 10, 20, maybe even 30 years. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because historically, with Vaselines, people have put up a fight. People have said, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then 9 times out of 10, they drop dead right there on the ground and get buried. But over time, people get accustomed to it. Because think about it like this. Did you really think that people didn't put up a fight when people had to get shots for hepatitis B, hepatitis C? Like, you know, like that requirement of shots that you have to get in middle school and like in school in general, like high school and stuff. I had to get a specific shot, I think hepatitis C or B, when I was 16. That was one of the required shots. Of course, you have to get shots for health reasons and stuff, even though you might not agree with it. But it's gonna be normalized. Because while people doing their research and stuff, well, you weren't doing your research on flu shots. Why? Because you were conditioned for it to be normal, because you got used to it, because you accepted it, and it's gonna happen again. Stop making everything into a remake. Be freaking original. I was here for the Beauty and the Beast live action remake, for Cinderella's live action remake, and then everything started to dwindle with Aladdin because I was like this, and then after that it completely declined. It fell the heck off, and I'm just like, nope, stop with these dang remakes. Like, be original. Come up with more like original movies and TV shows. Yeah, come up with something original. Honestly, stop, because they had me messed up when I saw that they had a live action movie on Full House, and then live action Clifford. What's next? They gonna make a live action Sesame Street, Caillou, Little Tikes, Thomas the Train? Like, does it ever stop? Does it ever stop? And don't even get me started on iCarly and That's So Raven, because them remakes was wicked whack, and I will not be watching it. Okay, be original. It hurts my creative soul. It really, really does. It's okay if you want to choose a job in the creative industry. However, you need to come up with a plan. And for some people that say there's no sublime substantial qualities in the creative industry, you're wrong. Why? Because creativity will always flourish, because it's a way for people to escape. Like, do you ever wonder why your son spends hours upon hours on video games? It's because it catches his eye. Do you ever wonder why your daughter is always making art? Do you ever wonder why your husband just loves playing the piccolo? Because it's an escape. It's therapeutic. It helps people. It expresses them. Because it's not going away. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not going away, but if you are going to be part of this industry, you need to come up with a backup plan, because people come and go, and it's not a very, very stable industry. Even though it's not broke at all, it's billions of dollars high. You need to come up with a backup plan. For me, my backup plan is photography. I can fall on photography if acting does not work out. I can own a photography studio, which AKA means I will be a businesswoman. See, I came up with the plan. See, and so can you. Every era of music has its good and bad seed. Not one decade or of music was good, like praising, while say this era of music is just bad. It's not like they were like, do you know how many songs in the 90s was probably dumpster juice awful? Do you know how many songs in this era, part of my generation, like 2010s, 2020s, like there are good songs. There are good and bad seeds of every era of music. The 80s probably had bad music. The 70s probably had bad music. Like, some people just make music just to make music, and that goes for everybody. It just doesn't correlate to a specific group or era. You get what I'm saying? There's good and bad seeds everywhere, because you cannot tell me that some songs in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 90s didn't have bad seeds, okay? And finally, that one opinion, unpopular opinion that might contradict myself from, but I'm totally ready, because I'm about to explain the heck out of this one, because we got time. Uniform and cell phone usage in schools. Debate is so tiring, because you know when in English, your English teacher says, oh, let's have a debate, and most of the topics are either about, should cell phones be allowed in the classroom? Should there be a uniform, or should we be allowed to wear our own clothes? And it's just the same arguments over and over. Why? Because it's one of those few debates where kids and adults alike could get together and debate, and it does not go well, because you have a group of people that probably won't understand and a group of people that just wanted to be better and feel like they don't understand or feel that they don't understand that they need this, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. With me personally, it's all about moderation and fairness. Remember what I said about the alcohol? It's all about moderation, and age does not determine when you could drink alcohol. It's all about moderation. Moderation with the cell phones and fairness with uniforms. Let me explain. With uniforms, yes, I think that elementary school kids should just have a uniform because they can have the choice to dress themselves already, but middle school and high school should be allowed to wear their own clothes, but the dress code should be fair. It just shouldn't be like, oh, this group of people can do that, but that group of people can do that. Some people say that the some dress codes are just biased and sexist, and I have to agree, because you have staff and teachers stuff just hooting and hollering and going after girls like hyenas for what they wear, but the boys, what about the boys? What about the boys? Because you have no hoodies on, no hats on, but some of these boys have hoodies and hats on, and some of them have their pants sagging to where I can see their whole butt in their bright underwear, but you want to come after me because I'm wearing shorts and I'm wearing a spaghetti strap or I'm wearing a tank top. Like, I'm fully covered and I ain't distracting nobody. Like, if I'm distracting you, then that's on you. You ain't got no self-control. Self-control, okay? Cell phones, moderation, meaning that if you know that I'm teaching the class, it's an instructional period, and you know that you have not finished all the work, then you need to put your phone up. Because if you don't, here's the scenario. If I was a teacher, I would say, guys, cell phones away unless you're done with your work and when I'm done with the instructional period. But if I'm not done instructing the class, or if you're not done with your work, then you need to put it away. But if you have an emergency call, or if it's an emergency, then you just tell me. You be honest and upfront with me, and I'll be like, yeah, go ahead and take that out in the hallway. Go ahead. And if I catch someone with their cell phone, I will tell them once to put that away and remind them, hey, you still got work that you owe me. Hey, you need to listen to this. This is important. And if they just do whatever and stay on the phone, I'll be like, okay. And I'm gonna just say in my head, okay, I will deal with you later, because not more than 5 minutes later, you got that same kid coming up to my desk saying, what are we supposed to be doing? I don't get this. You never teach. How am I supposed to be able to do this? You're supposed to be the teacher. Can you check my grades? I don't know how to check my grades. You see what I mean? I told you how you can check your grades. There's a website for it. Check it yourself. Do not come to me. Unless it's convenient and I end up having my laptop and you're just like, what am I missing? Can you look at my grades? Then yeah. But if I'm clearly doing something and I'm not walking around like to where you could ask me that question, then don't ask. Look it up yourself. And if you missed what we were supposed to do, that is on you. Figure it out yourself. Dang, you about to, because in the real world, you only get a few or even one chance to catch up on it. And if you don't, then you gotta figure it out yourself. That's just how life works, okay? Okay, because if you miss your rent, you're going to get warnings until they immediately just evict you. Then what are you gonna do? You got multiple chances and you can't blame nobody but yourself. See? Because a lot of people will be like, cell phones are a distraction, I can't teach my class, da, da, da. Well, you need to put something under it, because a lot of teachers have put like these posters and stuff that these kids are gonna read it stuff, and they're not being strict to those kids that are on their phones. They're being like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna help. Like, you have to be blunt. You gotta show them that there is karma, a consequence when they don't listen the first time and when they don't pay attention. You can't give them these chances. You gotta be blunt and direct. And we're done. Are you okay? Are you good? You need some water? Do you want to leave some criticism? Because by all means, leave some criticism, but be respectful and be constructive and be logical, because I can admit that some of these opinions are probably wrong. I want to be educated. I want more knowledge in my brain, but put knowledge in the comments and not drivel, because I'm not going to respond to drivel. I'm gonna be like this. My name is Lee. Delete, and I can't see. I'm gonna be like that, so don't even try it. But until next time, my loves, bye.